morning and welcome to Biz Buzz. I'm your host, Ruth King. It's really kind of cool to find somebody who is energetic, exciting, and it's like, okay, if she can do it, you all can do it. And it's the story of entrepreneurship. It's the story of taking risks. It's the story of being a mom and learning what you can do with kids, and when the kids go to college. I mean, I've been through a lot of that myself. So you're going to learn a lot this hour. Adrienne, it's great to see you.
Hi, thank you for having me.
My pleasure. We're going to talk a lot this morning about those issues and what you're into now. It's like we're doing this, we're doing this, we're doing this, and a little bit of background. But it's kind of cool because you don't have one specific thing and all of your eggs in one particular basket, which sometimes is important. It really and truly is important. So for those of you who want to call in a question, you can call us at 877-520-4321. Or if you're in the Atlanta area, it's 678-969-2797. Most people actually chat in. They don't necessarily call in. So there's a box below Adrienne and I, and you just type in any question that you'd like. We'll finish our conversation and our thought at that point, and I will take the questions. Chat is totally anonymous. We have no idea who's asking the question, so if you want feedback or contact information, you'll have to put that in your emails or in the chat back to us. If you do call in, and we love call-ins, please make sure you turn down your speakers and on your monitors because there is a delay, just as if you're calling into a radio station. So let's talk about you. Let's talk about where you came from, what's going on in your life. I mean, you're a mom, like I am, and let's talk about there and how the entrepreneurial bug bit, and why empower me.
Okay. Well, the entrepreneurial bug, I think, bit me when I was a teenager. I was that one that would go out to the park and sell brownies or lemonade or do resumes for friends or babysit. My first real business didn't start until about 1994.
Wait a minute, a real business babysitting? It is.
I mean, with legal documentation, tax ID numbers, and staff. But my initial business came about as a result of me being frustrated. I was working for a temp agency, and they were about to be acquired by a bigger agency. Well, I felt, I'd only been there 2 years, and I felt, well, I don't like the way that they're going. I don't like the directions. I can do it better. I was 20-something.
Typical 20-something-year-old. What is this? We can do this better, right?
And it's just, there was something in me that said, no, I don't want to work for someone else. I can do this better. I've always had the entrepreneurial spirit in me. I come from parents who believed in work for a company, be here 30 years, retire with your gold watch, and then sail off into the sunset. And that's not who I am. I like to call my own shots. I like to create and be in charge of projects. That's who I am. So I left the company and started out with the yellow pages.
Oh, fun.
Yes, the yellow pages for each of the 5 boroughs. I lived in New York at the time. And a word processor. Not a computer, but the old school word processor. And I just kind of learned as I went along. I didn't have any mentors or role models or anyone to guide me in the recruiting business. So it was a lot of trial and error. 6 years I ran that company, ended up shifting a little bit, started out as temporary staffing, ended up doing direct placement and focusing on technical staff, engineering. That was about the time when the internet really started picking up, so there was a lot of opportunity for placement in that area. And in 2000, I got burnt out and said, okay, I don't know what I want to do now. And took a couple of years off and decided to contract myself out. Didn't like that. I'm an entrepreneur. So the idea for my company, Hughes Consulting, started forming at that point. Moved on to that. And in the meantime, I mean, I have to kind of get a backstory. Between the time I retired from my first company to starting the second one, I started Empower Me. We started as a need for a professional network for women of color. And all the while, it just sat. And I had no idea what I was going to do with it. Well, I ran my company, Hughes Consulting, and then in 2008, after doing a blog post, a friend of mine urged me to write a book about networking. And she says, you have something with networking. Let's do something. Let's see where you can go with this. I shrugged it off and said, I'm not a writer, Sat down, wrote the book, and a vision, it literally came to me. I said, okay, why can't I create a company that's about total empowerment for today's woman? Why can't I do something that's focusing on educating, motivating, inspiring, and empowering women who want to run businesses or who want to grow their careers? I remember what it was like when I started. I didn't have all of that. So that's how it kind of grew into what it is today, which is a media publishing and professional development organization.
Right. So what did you learn along the way?
I learned a lot. I learned to be very protective of your brand. You are the brand in most cases, and because I was a startup so many times and it was just me in the beginning, I am the brand. I also learned that I can't do it myself. I have to seek help from outside people if I want to grow and expand.
Right. So, and how hard was it to find that first employee?
Well, let's just say for the first 4 years of my business, I worked alone. And it was mostly because I didn't know what to look for, and I was still learning the business myself. After that, it became easier because I felt whatever excellence my clients expected of me, I had to expect of my staff.
Which is sometimes really hard to do. Managing, I mean, you do a lot of coaching too,
yes,
in the things that you do. So, from experience, more than anything else.
Yes, that's where I draw a lot of it from my previous experiences to help women.
Right, and what's a coach? In your
a coach.
opinion?
Woo. Okay, well, so many people use the term nowadays.
I know, it's like...
I'm looking for a new term.
Okay.
I prefer strategist.
Let me know.
But no, a coach is someone who is there to guide you and motivate you and put you on the right path to achieving your goals and keeping you accountable and helping you to achieve those steps that you need to take to make things work in your life. There are life coaches. I'm not a life coach. I'm more of a business coach and a career coach. I feel that coaching is not about the rah-rah cheering you on, hey, you can do it, or giving you a bunch of worksheets to kind of find yourself. It's about implementing strategies, it's about learning new techniques, and it's about making things happen and having milestones each week to show that you're improving in your business or in your career. So my clients sound very tough.
You have to be.
Yeah.
I've been accused of coming in, stirring everything up, and leaving.
You have to.
You have to. I mean, if somebody wants to achieve specific goals, as Jim Collins has said sometimes there are the wrong people on the bus. And you've got to get the right people and the right seats. Thank you, Jim Collins. So, how does that all fit into empowerment?
Into the brand itself? Well, it fits in because I figure, like I said, we have a media publishing and professional development organization. The media part comes in where we're not seeing images of powerful women on TV. Okay, we have, Grey's Anatomy and a couple of our private practice. We don't have... If you look on CNN and CNBC, you don't see the power brokers coming on there. You see the roundtables, the strategic roundtables are mostly men. You have the Jack Welches and people like that are on panels, but you don't get to see powerful women and get to hear their stories. So we figure with the media division, with our radio show, with the internet TV channel, is to bring these women who are not the everyday, the quote-unquote status quo for Forbes and Fortune and Inc. and all of those magazines, to give them a forum and a platform to express who they are and to share and motivate other women. The publishing side is we have products, books, and things that we're developing to help women who want to self-learn. And then we have the professional development, which is the coaching where I work one-on-one. We do group coaching and individual. And then also we have Empower Me Institute where people can take live classes in real time on the internet and kind of have it all tie in together to give women that edge that they need to empower and educate themselves, and then people to look at to kind of model to make sure that they're staying on the right path. So it all kind of fits in together.
It all kind of fits together. So how important is mentoring?
Extremely. I know I didn't have one in the beginning, so it's very important. I mean, a mentor, and I always tell people there's a difference. There's mentors and then there's sponsors. Mentors are going to get you to a certain point, and a mentor's not meant to be with you for the entire life cycle of your business or your career. You have different people for different purposes, and what one mentor can get you here, but if you want to get here, you need another mentor to help you with that, and you have to be okay with that. Sponsors are people who are going to talk you up. They're going to talk about you. They're going to recommend you. They're going to throw your name in the hat whenever there's a project or a big contract coming up. And a lot of people don't understand that you need to have a mentor, some mentors and sponsors working on your behalf.
Okay, you're taking the large corporate mentor sponsor, and how do we translate that into the small business?
It's the same thing. It's the same thing. My thing has always been, I was never afraid to pick up a magazine, look through the pages, and say, I want this person to be my mentor. I took the same principles that I would in corporate and applied it to my business. Surrounded myself with people who were better than I am, who were more successful than I am, and more experienced than I am, so that way they can serve as kind of my unofficial advisory board or mentor team. And then I also built the relationships so that people would want to sponsor me. So you can do that when you're running a business as well as when you're in corporate.
So running the business is a little bit different. You've got to make the time to do that.
Yes. You have to make a lot of time. And especially for moms. I mean, it's hard when you have, especially if you have little children. My son was little. He was 3 when I started my first business, but I was lucky enough to have my family as a backup to help me with him. But I made the conscious effort to have my business at home so that I could balance work and family. And I think we did good. He's in college now. So.
Big difference in being 3 years old.
Oh, yes. Yes.
So,
now he gives me input.
Do you take it?
Sometimes. I hope he's not watching. He's a wise kid for 19. So, yeah.
Yeah, there's times that I call my daughter on the phone because she knows things I don't know. Kate, how do you do this? And she'll tell me. I mean, because I don't pretend to know everything, and I'm sure you don't either.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, so
I'm always learning.
You're always definitely learning. So let's talk a little bit about the magazine that's coming out. I mean, that's really kind of cool. I love the name of your magazine.
Fearless Woman magazine.
Fearless Woman, yes. How'd you come up with that name?
I came up with the name. Actually, it was not a hard process. It's just one day we sat down. I didn't want to use the Empower Me brand because I thought it was too cliche. But someone told me one day, you're tackling all these things. You're so fearless. I thought, oh, no, I'm just me. And I thought I was a fearless woman. Yeah, because you almost have to be fearless to get into entrepreneurship. You have to take risks, certain risks that you wouldn't take in your career because you have a steady paycheck. And you have to almost be a trailblazer in it. So I think Fearless Woman was the perfect
name for it. Yeah. So what is it with the paycheck? I mean, that's the real thing that holds a lot of women back. Yes,
it is. And I've had coaching clients who started businesses who were still holding on to that job because they wanted the benefits and the paycheck. You have to understand, from my recruiting background, I always negotiated in the best interest of the candidate. So I let them see that you don't have to accept the benefits package that a company offers you. You can get out there on the internet and find your best package that works for you that might be less money. And a lot of people still don't get it that job doesn't automatically equal benefits. You can find your own benefit package, your own 401k, medical, dental, whatever it is. As far as the paycheck, if you're motivated and hungry enough to make your business work, the money is going to come in. You have to, in essence, be a salesperson yourself, even if you're just charged with developing your product or offering your service. You still have to be a marketing and a salesperson on top of that. So you have to think, do you want to eat? If you want to eat.
Minor detail. You want food on the table, you want a roof over your head, those types of things. You bring up a very important point. Not only do you have to sell, but you also have to understand the financial side of business. And without those two things, don't start. And I'm saying you don't need a degree as a CPA or something like that, but go to a community college and take a sales course. Go to a community college, take a basic bookkeeping class. They do accounting for non-accounting majors or something along those lines, and you need that. Yeah. You absolutely do need that.
You do. And I did. I mean, I didn't finish college. I'm back in school now, let's say that. But I did take accounting courses. I did take small business management courses.
Was it fun?
It was very fun. And I think for me, because I was entrepreneurial, I got a lot out of the class, whereas some other people took it because it was an elective. For me, it was, oh, wow, we have this project. And I got an A in my entrepreneurship class, of course.
Really? I'm shocked.
And my Empower Me was the model for my final paper. And I got an A. And that gave me confirmation that I was on the right path to do something great.
So when Fred Smith got a C from FedEx, and you did it anyway?
Well, everybody's motivation is different.
Yeah, it's like, I'll show you, type thing.
But no, the financial piece is very important. I made a huge mistake in the very beginning, and I'm very honest with people, and I tell them, in the very beginning, I didn't know about taxes, quarterly taxes, and all of this, so I got hit with a tremendous IRS bill. That was the best learning experience. It hurt me financially, but it was the best learning experience and the best kick in the butt that I needed to be more diligent about my finances and about my obligations. So a lot of people want to run a business and say, oh, I don't want to worry about that side of it. I don't care about that. Let a bookkeeper handle that. Even if you have a bookkeeper, there's no guarantee that they're an honest bookkeeper. So you have to be very cognizant of everything that comes in and out of your business.
Right. And one of the statements that a very wise person told me many years ago that I've never forgotten is that the job of a good embezzler is to become the trusted bookkeeper.
Yes. I hope to never find out.
Little old ladies who are your best friends who are probably stealing from you.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think now that I've seen it more and more because of the economic times, more than anything else, but you got to watch everything.
Yeah, small businesses are easy targets in these times. So, and like Oprah says, sign your own checks.
Checks, that's right. Absolutely. And she still does.
Yeah.
She signs all of her checks. And how many checks does she probably sign?
I know.
A lot. So, let's wrap it all into Empower Me. You speak about the brand a lot. Tell me in your mind what is the brand Empower Me?
Okay, the brand is empowering women to live their best professional lives and do it fearlessly. There is no longer stigmas where, well, I'm probably going to get flack for this, but I don't believe in the glass ceiling anymore because we've had so many strides, we've had so many accomplishments with so many prominent women that a lot of women still want to use that excuse as the glass ceiling. No, find your voice and use it, whether it's in a corporate setting, whether it's in a boardroom, whether it's you going out for a major contract. You have a voice, you have power in that voice. And if you don't show that you have some power and some presence with you, nobody's going to take you seriously. So my goal is through everything that I'm doing with this Empower Me brand is to give women that certain something that they need to be empowered and to be fearless and say, well, if Adrienne can do it, I can do it too. So that's pretty much the brand in essence.
Yeah. And reality is that we've all started out very, very small. We all took the risks. We all said, okay, we don't want that corporate paycheck anymore at some point in time. And it's scary.
It is. It is. But I told myself, you know what? I'm better than this paycheck. I'm better than this $350 they're paying me a week. And it was easy to say it. And when I first quit in the first couple of weeks, I said, oh my God, I don't have any money. But the more I said that to myself and the more I believed it and the harder I worked, the more things started opening for me. So you just have to tell yourself, I'm better than a paycheck, or if you're unemployed, I'm better than an unemployment check. I wrote myself, and I know it's cliche because a lot of people do it, I wrote myself a check for $1 million. I haven't been able to cash that yet, with expenses with running a business, but I wrote that and I keep that up on my vision board because I know what I'm worth, and I'm changing it now because I want to make it $50 million. But you have to believe in yourself, and even in this economy, there are so many opportunities that are out there, but you just have to be willing to dig for them.
Well, dig for them and believe that they're out there. Not the negative side, the positive side.
Yeah, find opportunities. I mean, in a quick story, the Clayton County transportation system that when they shut it down.
Clayton County, Georgia.
Clayton County, Georgia, where they shut down the transit system. Well, there's some enterprising young men who created a van service. Everybody was worried about how am I going to get to work? How am I going to get to school? They stepped up to the plate, started businesses, got their licenses, got vans, and had an opportunity. So there's plenty of opportunities. And I don't know if you heard about the lice clinics.
No, I haven't heard about it. Tell me about the lice clinics.
I heard this on Nightline yesterday. There's a woman who, and I think it started in California, there's an epidemic with the younger kids with the lice. And she started lice clinics. And she said on TV yesterday that her dream is to put them in every state and kind of franchise them out because it's something like a stigma where parents are ashamed that their kids have contracted lice, but they don't want to do anything and the over-the-counter stuff isn't working. So they created a product to get rid of the lice and a facility. And that's an opportunity. It sounds disgusting because it's lice, but it was an opportunity. So.
Yeah, and you said yourself you got started because you were frustrated with the way things going. I mean, most entrepreneurs that I find, as a general rule, are pretty frustrated with the status quo.
Yeah.
And a lot of them look at it, I can do this better. And then you step out and do it. Step out and do it. You know, unlike, and there's nothing wrong with it, if you take the franchise model, you find the entrepreneur who stepped out and creates the system. And a lot of people are very good at following systems, but don't necessarily want to take the risks that we necessarily do. Adrienne, one of the things I always ask everybody at the end of every show is that if they were going to, when they click off the show, what are 3 or 4 things that they can do immediately to become more empowered, to become more fearless, you know, those types of things. So how would you answer that?
Wow. Let's see. First, surround yourself with great people. It's hard to find people who are as passionate as you are about your business. Find those people who get it, who understand what you're trying to do, and who support you 100%. The next thing is just do it. Don't be afraid. I don't like to live life with limits on myself. Take off the limits, take off the chains, and get out there and explore what the world has for you. If you don't have an idea in mind, create one. You can always create an opportunity. And the third one, I guess, don't be afraid of technology. Technology, social media, that's the landscape today. That's where things are going. So businesses that you might not have been able to start 5, 10 years ago are opening up now. Opportunities are opening up now for you because of technology and social media. So don't be afraid of technology.
Well, good. And where can people find you?
www.empowerme.org. .org, not .com.
Okay. And your phone number?
Phone number, 866-810-2525.
Terrific. Adrienne, thanks so much for being with us
Thank you for
today.
having me.
Good luck with everything.
Thank you.
It'll be fun to watch your progress.
Yes.
Yes, definitely. And thanks to all of you for watching Biz Buzz today. Check it out. Check out empowerme.org. I think you'll find some really cool things on there and things that might help you take that risk or continue that risk, knowing that you're not alone. We've all gone through it. We've all been through it. So have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week on Biz Buzz. I'm Ruth King. Thanks for watching.